Good morning. They say that this is an era of exploration, and I am definitely living it. So, when this topic came up, I was super excited and I said digital video because this month marks my start of two jobs on one salary. Yes, I do have a death wish. So, I work for Kantar, I head creative for them across APAC, but I'm an intern with Mindshare. So, this couldn't have been a better topic because I'm learning all about media and exploring what media means and the impact of it. So this is absolutely brilliant. And hence the idea of talking about brand building through digital. And we do believe that that is the missing piece of profitability. So as Nat presented, brand storytelling, yes, is growing, but brand building per se, and with all the conversations around measurements, I'm sure my team from Kantar is sitting there and saying, yes, we can provide every possible measure that you need. So brand building is an absolutely important aspect. So in collaboration with Work and their ROI database, what we did was we took about 1,100 award-winning ads from their database and we combined it with 450 campaigns from the Kantar link database of the 250,000 that we have. And what we were trying to identify is the role of brand building in advertising. And what we did see is if you invest in brand building, what you end up doing, or great creative that is effective, what you will end up with is 4.7 times effectiveness in terms of return on marketing investment. So there is no reason to not put creative at the heart of your campaign right from the beginning. The second stat, what we also wanted to identify was what is the correlation between return on investment and the other factors when we look at whether it's brand building, whether it is cut through, whether it is grabbing attention. And what we found was long-term equity has the strongest correlation, close to about 0.8, and that's fairly promising to know because that essentially points us in the direction of brand building should be at the heart of what we do when we're designing creative. And finally, if you look at the uplift on long-term brand, so I've talked about the importance and how it is related to profitability. The strongest correlation is with brand building. And then finally, if you're thinking of driving equity, emotions are the best way to do it. We all want to feel something and we all want to experience emotions. We want to stay connected. We believe in that connectivity. There was a mention of authenticity and the importance of that. All of that comes together to make us feel a certain way about the brand, and therefore brand building becomes an important part of it. And it does not mean any kind of emotion. It definitely needs to be positive emotions. So we looked at a behavioral model, and this is a positive emotional model, which is called PERMA. Positive emotions essentially are around joy, pride, compassion, gratitude, etc. When you look at the second aspect of it, which is engagement. Now, when we talk about engagement from a media lens, I'm discovering it is about eyeballs. But here, they don't refer to it in terms of just vision. It refers to being in the zone. So when you're watching a creative, for example, the Qantas example that was cited, the reason why you actually go ahead and deliver and achieve memorability is because when you're watching it, you are in that zone. You're in that state of the flow. And that's what real engagement is all about. When you look at it from a relationship point of view, it's about meaningful relationships. Now, that needs to make sense to our right brain almost intuitively and instantly. And that's when you know that you're building a strong relationship. Or demonstrating a strong relationship. M for meaning. Meaning is about, again, intuition. It's not about saying we create the best kind of creator. We create a moving storytelling with full of pathos and make people cry. That's not the intent. The intent is even if you're painting using blue, get the blue right. And that's all that there is to it. And finally, when you look at accomplishments are about small things. You know, don't need to make them feel that they've done something really lofty for the planet or they've changed the whole world. It could just be getting them to think, maybe I need to walk for 10 minutes. Why are my slides transitioning on their own? Uh-oh. No, that's the end of my presentation. Nat, help. Jeez. Okay, thank you. That's the best way of getting me off the stage. Okay, so much for my excitement. No, I'm not going to do anything. Yes, okay. So from the PERMA model, we then decided, let's find out what's really important when it comes to digital video content. And what we identified, the next slide. Okay, the top performers just need to do two things. You don't need to do all of it. You need to very clearly trigger positivity, so positive emotions of sense of accomplishment, gratitude, whatever, compassion, whatever it might be. And second, drive relationships, which are intuitive, easy to understand, but always and everywhere err on the side of positivity, not negative emotions. Another piece of work that we did recently was with Effectiva. I don't know how many of you are familiar with it. They do most of our facial coding data collection, and they're an amazing organization. We looked at about 40,000 ads. And we cut our database by the top performing versus the bottom performers. And what we saw is, by and large, the top performers sit in the positive zone, triggering positive emotions. So very clearly, positive emotions, joy, no advertising. And I think this is the third time I've said no advertising at the IAB event. So the next couple of ads that I'm going to show you are actually from the Kantar Creative Effectiveness Awards 2023. Why is Kantar giving out awards? You know that we work with clients to optimize their advertising. We have 13,000 ads that were shortlisted, that were tested last year. And based on that, we cut them by the top percentile. So top 10 percentile is where we cut them by. These ads are specifically those that have scored amazingly well in terms of brand building, or what in Kantar we call brand power, which is a combination of three things: meaning, which is whether you're meeting consumers' needs and driving brand love, salience, which you're familiar with, and difference. Difference is how unique are you, and are you therefore creating dynamism within the category. So when you look at some of these creatives, you'll identify what really is happening with them. Let's start with the first one. This is actually the Kantar Creative Effectiveness Awards. Australia and New Zealand is tomorrow, but you will see this there as well. Sneak peek.
You forgot this. Love you, Dad.
There's a glass and a half in everyone.
Simple, intuitive, talks to all of those positive emotions. It's that little moment which they don't need to say much. You just understand and you connect. And the beauty of this creative is it not just won in Australia and New Zealand, it's won globally. So this year we are very, very proud because 3 years actually consecutively, we have had nominations from here, making it to the global arena. So really strong advertising is about triggering those positive emotions, and you understand and connect with it intuitively.
What are you doing?
Sandwiches. Are you crisp in or crisp out?
Now, the reason why I talked to you about meaning was this one was at the top 15th percentile in driving affinity. So, really triggering brand love through the use of humor. 30 of the 42 countries, humor works as a song, and works not just in terms of driving attention, but works in terms of building the brand. Australia over-indexes in advertising with humor in it. 33% as compared to the global average of 25. So very clearly, Australia and New Zealand tends to get humor, connect through humor, and tell brand stories really well through humor. So definitely leverage it in advertising. A creative from the UK. Okay, so the Starbucks one was from the UK, again, made it to the Effectiveness Awards. And the reason why they did that is also the use of music, because music tends to help you and aid you in terms of delivering emotions. People listen to a track and they feel all kinds of emotions. I love country, and therefore when I listen to country music, it just transports me to another world. So use emotions, use humor. These are really shortcuts in terms of building the brand. Thank you. Last year as well, what we saw, and we were talking about this a lot, was the resurrection of the demo, or what we call the Renaissance Demo 2.0. Very often we've looked at, and I used to be a planner in advertising, we've looked at creatives which are product-led and said, oh my God, boring, oh God, there'll be a product demo and then there'll be, ingredients toppling through and oh, good Lord, CGI and all of that. But what we are seeing these days is even a product story can be elevating, can make people feel a certain way. And this is nothing but a classic example of bringing alive Christmas, but at the same time, in a nostalgic manner, putting the brand right at the heart of it. So that slamming of the brand in the center of the frame really communicates it. Created for digital, not something that was repurposed. And I think Guy will agree with me. We keep saying this. Do not try and repurpose TV advertising when it comes to other platforms. If you are able to customize content to platform, 26% uplift on your campaign return on investment. So really, really think about how you can create. Do not think film first, think platform first. And that's essentially the secret in most of these cases. This one is a favorite because I think quite a few people in this room, at least I'm hoping the women, will identify with it.
Dear LL Bean, I had my book bag since I was 5, and now I'm 8.5. My mom and dad will only let me get a new one if it wears out. How do I wear it out? Can you please tell me?
We've all done this. That pair of shoe, that bag that we just wanted to get rid of, which we can never. Again, intuitive talks about a relationship between a bag and a girl and her desire to buy something new or her desire to experience something new. So intuitive emotions or intuitively connecting with consumers is the key to triggering positive emotions. And the reason why I talk about this and the reason why I've been continuously repeating the PERMA model is because when we looked at digital advertising, they tend to under-leverage when it comes to emotional connects. What they tend to do less of is trigger surprises and smiles. We tend to treat them as infomercials, so there's so much of information because we're so excited to tell them everything that's cool about, it could be rideshare, it could be anything, any new launch that we have. We are so caught up with it that we forget what's in it for the consumer. But what the consumer is looking for and is willing to connect with is if you're authentic and you're able to make them feel a certain way. This one is my pet favorite because this is what has got us to the global arena.
G'day, it's great to be travelling the world again, with Air New Zealand, of course. I used to fly old school to LA. Then it struck me, had to be a better way. Well, what do you know?
Kia ora, welcome on board.
Now we're talking. Premium economy is so comfy. Blockbusting entertainment, incredible Kiwi cuisine. You've got food envy, haven't you? I know.
Discover a better way to fly to North America.
And I couldn't think of a better way of communicating an upgrade to premium economy than that. So, in a nutshell, what am I saying? Build the brand and ROI will follow. Positive emotions help you build the brand. When you're thinking about positive emotions, think about things like gratitude, compassion, generosity, moments of kindness, whatever it might be. Try and demonstrate relationships, showcase relationships that connect intuitively with consumers. Use humor, use music, and definitely be authentic and own it for your brand. Thank you.